Imagine never having to worry about money again. Sounds impossible. What if I told you that Padre Pio, the saint who touched millions of lives with his miracles and wisdom, left behind a simple secret that could completely transform your financial life? Yes, we're talking about three numbers. Three numbers that, when written on the palm of your hand with the right intention and faith, have the potential to attract abundance and prosperity in ways you never thought possible. In the quiet halls of San Giovanni Rotondo, where Padre Pio spent his days serving God and healing souls, he revealed a profound secret. Three specific numbers that, when used with unwavering faith and proper spiritual intention, have the power to unlock financial blessings in ways you never imagined. These aren't just ordinary numbers. They're a spiritual key that combines ancient wisdom with divine grace. Picture yourself waking up each morning, no longer burdened by financial stress. Imagine checking your bank account without that familiar knot of anxiety in your stomach. What if I told you that thousands of faithful followers have already experienced this transformation through these three sacred numbers? This isn't about gambling or quick riches. It's about aligning yourself with God's abundant grace through Padre Pio's spiritual wisdom. The story of these numbers begins with a remarkable encounter between Padre Pio and a desperate mother of four who had lost everything during a financial crisis. Her family was facing eviction, her children were going hungry, and her prayers seemed to echo in empty spaces. But when she met Padre Pio in confession, he shared something that would not only transform her life, but would become a legacy of hope for generations to come. These numbers, which I'll reveal to you today, aren't magical digits or lottery picks. They represent something far more profound, a spiritual formula that Padre Pio understood was essential for attracting divine providence. They embody biblical principles of abundance, heavenly wisdom, and God's perfect timing. When used with genuine faith and proper spiritual understanding, they become a daily reminder of God's promise to provide for His children. But before I share these powerful numbers with you, I must emphasize something crucial. This isn't about replacing prayer with numerology or turning faith into superstition. Instead, it's about embracing a profound spiritual tool that Padre Pio left as a gift for those who understand that true abundance flows from aligning our hearts with God's will. As we delve deeper into this revelation, you'll discover why these specific numbers were chosen by Padre Pio, how they connect to biblical promises of prosperity, and most importantly, how to use them in a way that honors God while inviting His blessings into your financial life. This knowledge has been preserved and passed down through generations of devoted followers, and today it's your turn to receive this extraordinary gift. Remember, Padre Pio often said that worry is useless, but faith can move mountains. These three numbers are about to become your daily reminder of that profound truth. Are you ready to discover the financial secret that has transformed countless lives through Padre Pio's intercession? The power of these three numbers goes far beyond mere digits on paper. When Padre Pio revealed them, he emphasized something crucial. They serve as a gateway between earthly financial struggles and divine abundance. Each number carries a specific vibration, a sacred frequency that, when activated with pure faith and proper intention, creates a channel for God's blessings to flow into your financial life. Consider the biblical foundation of numbers and their spiritual significance. Throughout Scripture, we see how God uses specific numbers to convey His messages and manifest His will. 7 days of creation, 12 apostles, 40 days in the desert. These weren't random choices, but divine patterns carrying deep spiritual meaning. Similarly, the three numbers Padre Pio revealed were carefully chosen for their powerful spiritual resonance and their ability to align our financial lives with God's abundant grace. Many faithful followers have asked me why these numbers weren't widely known before. The answer lies in Padre Pio's profound wisdom. He understood that spiritual tools of this magnitude needed to be protected until the right time, a time when people would be ready to receive them with proper reverence and understanding. That time is now, as more and more faithful souls find themselves struggling with financial burdens while yearning for a deeper spiritual connection. But let me be clear, these numbers aren't a magical formula for instant wealth. They are, instead, a sacred key that unlocks a spiritual process of financial transformation. When you write these numbers with faith, you're not just performing a ritual, you're declaring your trust in God's providence and opening yourself to His abundant blessings. It's about creating a daily spiritual practice that combines unwavering faith with divine wisdom. The effectiveness of these numbers lies in their ability to shift your spiritual energy from a position of lack to one of divine abundance. They work by aligning your financial consciousness with God's infinite prosperity. Think of them as a spiritual antenna carefully tuned to receive heaven's financial blessings. When used with proper devotion and understanding, they create a powerful resonance that can attract unexpected opportunities, divine inspiration, and financial breakthroughs. Padre Pio chose these specific numbers because they represent the perfect balance between spiritual wisdom and practical manifestation. They embody the principles of divine timing, sacred geometry, and holy providence. Each number vibrates with a specific spiritual frequency that, when combined, creates a powerful force for financial transformation. As we prepare to unveil these sacred numbers, it's essential to understand that they must be used with pure intention and genuine faith. This isn't about testing God or demanding instant results. Instead, it's about embracing a profound spiritual tool that Padre Pio left as a gift for those who understand that true abundance flows from aligning our hearts with God's will while taking inspired action in our material world. Remember, these numbers are more than just a sequence of digits. They're a bridge between your financial needs and God's infinite abundance. They represent a sacred covenant between heaven and earth, a divine promise that when we align ourselves with God's prosperity consciousness, miracles can and do happen. The time has come to reveal these three powerful numbers, 7, 12, and 5. But before you hastily write them down, it's essential to understand their profound spiritual significance and why Padre Pio chose these specific digits as channels for financial blessings. Each number carries a unique divine purpose that, when properly understood and applied, can revolutionize your financial destiny. Let's begin with the number 7. In both biblical tradition and Padre Pio's teachings, 7 represents divine perfection and completion. Think about it. God created the world in 7 days, demonstrating the perfect cycle of creation and rest. When you invoke the number 7 in your financial practice, you're tapping into this divine perfection. It reminds us that God's timing in our financial matters is always perfect, even when our human understanding fails to see it. The number 12 carries equally powerful significance. Throughout Scripture, we see it representing divine governance and authority. The 12 tribes of Israel, the 12 apostles, 12 months in a year, all speak to God's perfect organizational structure. When Padre Pio included 12 in this financial sequence, he was acknowledging our need to submit our financial concerns to divine authority. It's about recognizing that true prosperity comes when we align our financial decisions with God's wisdom. The final number, 5, represents God's grace and favor. In biblical numerology, 5 is consistently associated with divine grace, goodness, and God's benevolence toward His children. By incorporating 5 into this sacred sequence, Padre Pio was emphasizing that financial abundance isn't earned through our efforts alone. It flows through God's grace and mercy. But here's something crucial that many don't understand. These numbers must be written in a specific order, with a particular intention, and at certain times of the day to activate their full spiritual potential. Padre Pio was very clear about this. The sequence begins with 7 to establish divine perfection, followed by 12 to invoke heavenly authority, and concludes with 5 to open the channels of grace. When writing these numbers, your heart must be in a state of grateful expectation, not desperate need. This is why Padre Pio taught that the early morning hours, just as the sun rises, are most powerful for this practice. It's when our minds are clear and our spirits are most receptive to divine influence. The numbers should be written with your dominant hand, as this connects to your active, manifesting energy. However, these numbers aren't meant to be used as a form of spiritual gambling or manipulation. They are sacred tools for aligning our financial consciousness with God's abundant nature. When you write them, you're essentially creating a spiritual contract, declaring your trust in God's provision while simultaneously opening yourself to divine guidance in your financial decisions. Many who practice this devotion report experiencing not just financial improvements, but a profound shift in how they view money altogether. They begin to see their resources as sacred tools for doing God's work, not just means for personal gain. This shift in consciousness often leads to unexpected opportunities, divine connections, and financial breakthroughs that seem miraculous in nature. Understanding the spiritual significance of these numbers is only the beginning. The true power lies in how you use them. Padre Pio provided specific instructions for this sacred practice, emphasizing that it's not just about writing numbers, it's about creating a daily spiritual ritual that opens the channels for financial blessings to flow into your life. The practice begins at dawn, precisely when the first rays of sunlight break through the darkness. This timing isn't arbitrary. It represents the moment when heaven and earth meet, when spiritual energy is at its peak. As you prepare for this sacred ritual, ensure you're in a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Your heart should be filled with gratitude, not anxiety about your financial situation. Take your dominant hand and, using a blue pen, Padre Pio was specific about this color as it represents divine truth and communication, write the numbers in this exact sequence. First the 7, allowing a brief moment of prayer for divine perfection. Then the 12, inviting heavenly authority into your finances. And finally the 5, opening yourself to God's grace and favor. As you write each number, breathe deeply and allow yourself to feel the spiritual significance of each digit. But here's what makes this practice truly transformative. While writing these numbers, you must simultaneously hold 3 specific intentions in your heart. First, gratitude for all you currently have, no matter how little it might seem. Second, trust in God's perfect timing and provision for your needs. Third, willingness to be a channel of blessing for others once abundance flows into your life. Padre Pio emphasized that this practice must be done consistently for 40 consecutive days, another spiritually significant number representing transformation and preparation. During these 40 days, you're not just writing numbers, you're building a spiritual foundation for lasting financial transformation. Each day's practice builds upon the previous one, creating a powerful momentum of faith and manifestation. However, there are specific guidelines that must be followed. The numbers should never be written when you're feeling angry, resentful, or desperate about money. These negative emotions can block the flow of divine energy. Instead, if you're experiencing such feelings, take time to pray and center yourself before engaging in the practice. Remember Padre Pio's words: pray, hope, and don't worry. Let these words guide your emotional state during the practice. Many practitioners have reported that around the 21st day of this practice, they begin noticing subtle changes. It might start with finding unexpected money, receiving surprising opportunities, or experiencing a new sense of peace about their financial situation. These initial manifestations are signs that the spiritual channels are opening, but they're also tests of your faith and consistency. The practice also includes a crucial element of surrender. After writing the numbers each morning, you must consciously release your financial worries to divine care. This isn't passive resignation, it's active trust in God's provision. Throughout the day, whenever financial concerns arise, touch the spot where you wrote the numbers and remind yourself that you've placed these matters in God's hands. While thousands have experienced the power of Padre Pio's sacred numbers, there's one testimony that perfectly illustrates their transformative potential. Let me share with you the extraordinary story of Maria, a devoted mother of 4 whose life was completely transformed through these 3 sacred numbers. Maria's story begins at her lowest point, a moment many of you might relate to. After her husband abandoned the family, she was left with a failing small grocery store, 4 young children to feed, and mounting debts that seemed impossible to overcome. The creditors were calling daily, and the electricity in her store had been cut off due to unpaid bills. The bank had given her a final notice. She had 30 days to pay $75,000 in overdue loans, or they would seize both her store and her modest home. Every night, Maria would cry herself to sleep, praying for a miracle. That's when her local priest noticed her distress after Sunday Mass. He shared with her the sacred practice of Padre Pio's numbers, explaining their significance and the proper way to use them. Though skeptical at first, Maria was drawn to the way he emphasized that these numbers weren't about magic, but about aligning oneself with God's abundant grace. With nothing left to lose, Maria committed to the 40-day practice with unwavering faith. Each morning before her children woke up, she would write the numbers exactly as instructed, accompanying each digit with prayers of gratitude despite her difficult circumstances. What happened next defies mere coincidence. On day 21 of her practice, an elegant woman walked into her nearly empty store. Instead of buying anything, she began asking Maria detailed questions about her business model and challenges. This woman, as it turned out, represented a major supermarket chain looking to establish a community partnership program in developing neighborhoods. But here's where the divine intervention becomes undeniable. The initial contract they offered Maria was for exactly $75,000, the precise amount she needed to save her store and home. Even more remarkably, the payment would be processed within 10 days, just before her final deadline with the bank. However, the miracles didn't stop there. The partnership proved so successful that within 6 months, Maria's store had become a model for the program. Her revenue tripled, and she was able to hire 2 additional employees. Today, 3 years later, Maria owns 3 successful stores and has established a foundation helping other struggling single mothers start their own businesses. Maria still practices writing Padre Pio's numbers every morning, not out of financial necessity anymore, but out of gratitude and spiritual devotion. She keeps her original 40-day journal as a testament to God's faithfulness, showing it to others who come to her in financial distress. These numbers, she often says, aren't just about money. They're about learning to trust in God's perfect plan for your life. If you have been touched by the story of Mary and feel ready to deepen your spiritual connection with Padre Pio's teachings, I have something special to share with you. We have created a powerful spiritual guide called The Spiritual Secrets of Padre Pio, a comprehensive ebook that will take your abundance journey to the next level. This sacred material contains Padre Pio's most powerful prayers for financial breakthrough, detailed spiritual practices based on his teachings, practical guidance to strengthen your faith, daily reflections to transform your relationship with abundance, special sections on the effective use of the 3 sacred numbers. Click on the link pinned in the comments below to access this life-changing guide. Remember, just as Mary's life was changed through these spiritual practices, your abundance journey is about to begin. This is not just another book. It is your personal key to unlocking Padre Pio's spiritual wisdom for financial prosperity. Take action now while you feel this divine connection. Your path to abundance awaits. The transformation we witnessed in Maria's life wasn't just about writing numbers. It revealed profound spiritual principles that govern how Padre Pio's sacred numbers operate in our financial lives. Let's examine these principles while understanding a crucial point many practitioners overlook. The foundation of this practice lies in what Padre Pio called divine financial alignment. When Maria wrote the number 7 each morning in her store's quiet corner, she wasn't just marking a digit, she was acknowledging God's perfect timing. Even when creditors were calling and her electricity had been cut off, that number 7 reminded her daily that God's timing is never early or late, but always perfect. The number 12, which Maria diligently wrote next, represents divine governance. During her darkest moments, when her children would ask why the store shelves were empty, this number reminded her that just as God governs the celestial order, He also governs every aspect of our financial lives. The partnership that saved her business didn't come by chance. It came through divine orchestration. However, here's where many practitioners make a crucial mistake that can delay their breakthrough. They focus too much on the physical act of writing the numbers and not enough on what Padre Pio called the inner alignment. Even Maria initially fell into this trap during her first week of practice, mechanically writing the numbers while her mind raced with worries about her mounting debts. The turning point in her practice came when she learned to enter what Padre Pio termed the sacred pause, a moment of complete stillness before writing each number. This pause, lasting just 3 deep breaths, allows your spirit to fully align with the divine significance of each number. Without this pause, the practice can become merely mechanical, significantly reducing its spiritual potency. The number 5, representing divine grace, becomes particularly powerful when preceded by this sacred pause. When Maria finally incorporated this element into her practice, she noticed an immediate shift in her spiritual awareness. Solutions began appearing in unexpected ways, like the mysterious visitor who would transform her business. This practice also operates through what Padre Pio called the law of spiritual momentum. Each day builds upon the previous one, creating a cumulative effect of divine alignment. Maria noticed that her strongest breakthrough came after 3 full weeks of consistent practice. The exact time frame Padre Pio said was necessary for the spiritual momentum to reach its peak. Remember, these numbers aren't just symbols, they're active channels for divine provision when used with proper understanding and reverence. The 3-breath pause before writing each number isn't optional. It's essential for activating their full potential. This detail, often overlooked in discussions about the practice, can make the difference between superficial results and profound transformation. Before we proceed further into the power of these sacred numbers, it's essential to address what Padre Pio warned about their misuse. Understanding these cautions is just as important as knowing how to use the numbers correctly, as improper application can block their spiritual effectiveness in your financial transformation. The first and most serious mistake people make is treating these numbers like a magical formula or lottery picks. Padre Pio was explicit about this. These numbers are not for gambling, speculation, or get-rich-quick schemes. Several followers learned this lesson the hard way when they used the numbers for betting, only to experience even greater financial difficulties. Remember, these are sacred tools for aligning with divine prosperity, not instruments for material greed. Another common error is inconsistency in the practice. Some people write the numbers only when they're in financial crisis, then abandon the practice once things improve. This sporadic approach severely limits the numbers' effectiveness. The 40-day commitment isn't arbitrary. It's a divinely ordained period of spiritual cultivation. Breaking this cycle, especially between days 21 and 35 when most breakthroughs occur, can reset your entire progress. Many practitioners also make the mistake of sharing their written numbers with others or posting photos of them on social media. Padre Pio taught that this sacred practice should remain private between you and God. While you can share the knowledge of the numbers, your personal practice should remain confidential. Think of it as an intimate conversation between your soul and divine providence. There's also the error of wrong timing and intention. Some write the numbers in a state of desperation, anger, or resentment about their financial situation. Padre Pio emphasized that the numbers should only be written in a state of grateful expectation. If you're feeling negative emotions about money, first spend time in prayer until you reach a place of peace and trust. A particularly subtle mistake is what Padre Pio called divided allegiance. This happens when people combine these sacred numbers with other financial practices that might contradict Christian principles. The numbers must be used exclusively with faith in divine providence, not mixed with practices from other spiritual traditions or secular money-making schemes. Some practitioners fall into the trap of obsessing over immediate results. They constantly check their bank accounts or scrutinize every small event for signs of financial breakthrough. This anxiety-driven approach actually creates resistance to the flow of abundance. The numbers work best when accompanied by peaceful surrender to divine timing. There's also the mistake of using incorrect materials or methods. Some try to type the numbers digitally, print them, or have others write them. Padre Pio was clear. They must be handwritten by you personally, using a blue pen, preferably on your palm or in a dedicated prayer journal. The physical act of writing creates a spiritual connection that digital methods cannot replicate. Lastly, many fail to understand that these numbers are part of a larger spiritual practice. They ignore the importance of maintaining ethical financial behavior, being generous with others, and continuing their regular prayers and spiritual devotions. The numbers are not a replacement for living a life of faith. They're an enhancement to it. Now that we understand both the power and potential pitfalls of Padre Pio's numbers, let's explore the essential preparation ritual that maximizes their effectiveness. This sacred preparation, often overlooked by many practitioners, is what transforms these numbers from mere digits into powerful channels of financial blessing. The preparation begins the night before you start your 40-day practice. Padre Pio instructed that the evening should be spent in what he called financial confession, a thorough examination of your relationship with money. This involves acknowledging past financial mistakes without judgment, releasing feelings of shame about money, and setting clear intentions for your spiritual financial transformation. Before starting the practice, you need to create what Padre Pio referred to as your prosperity altar. This isn't an elaborate setup, simply a clean, dedicated space where you'll write the numbers each morning. It should face east if possible, symbolizing the rising sun and new beginnings. On this space, place a blue candle, representing divine wisdom in financial matters, your prayer journal, and if possible, a picture of Padre Pio. The morning ritual itself requires specific preparation. You should wake up before sunrise, as Padre Pio emphasized that the pre-dawn hours carry special spiritual potency for financial matters. Before writing the numbers, wash your hands with pure water while reciting Psalm 23, symbolizing God's abundant provision. The water represents purification of your financial energy and readiness to receive new blessings. Your writing materials must also be carefully chosen. The blue pen should be new and dedicated solely to this practice. Padre Pio specified blue ink because it resonates with the spiritual frequency of abundance and divine communication. The pen should never be used for ordinary writing. It's a sacred tool for your financial breakthrough. The physical space where you perform the ritual must be clean and organized. Padre Pio taught that cluttered spaces block the flow of financial blessings. Take time to clear your prosperity altar of any dust or unnecessary items. The space should feel sacred and peaceful, conducive to spiritual connection. Your spiritual preparation is equally crucial. The night before beginning the practice, Padre Pio recommended a special prayer of financial surrender. This prayer acknowledges God's role as the source of all abundance. and releases any attachment to specific outcomes. Many practitioners report that this surrender prayer often leads to financial blessings far greater than what they initially imagined. Mental preparation involves what Padre Pio called prosperity visualization. Before writing the numbers each morning, spend a few moments visualizing yourself as a channel of divine abundance. See yourself not just receiving financial blessings, but also using them to help others and advance God's kingdom. This visualization sets the proper spiritual frequency for the numbers to work effectively. The 40-day journey of working with Padre Pio's sacred numbers follows a specific pattern of spiritual and financial transformation. Understanding these stages helps you navigate the process with greater awareness and faith, maximizing the potential for your financial breakthrough. During the first 7 days, known as the awakening phase, many practitioners report subtle shifts in their financial awareness. You might notice small synchronicities, finding unexpected money, receiving random discounts, or having forgotten debts repaid. These initial signs, while sometimes modest, are crucial indicators that the spiritual channels are beginning to open. Padre Pio called these whispers of providence, suggesting that practitioners should pay attention to even the smallest financial blessings. The next phase, from day 8 to day 21, is what Padre Pio termed the purification period. This is often the most challenging phase, where old financial fears and limiting beliefs surface for healing. You might face unexpected expenses or financial challenges. Don't be discouraged. These obstacles are actually signs that the numbers are working, clearing old financial karma and preparing you for greater abundance. During this phase, many report vivid dreams about money or receiving clear spiritual guidance about their finances. Days 22 through 33 mark the manifestation phase. This is when most practitioners begin experiencing more tangible financial breakthroughs. Job opportunities appear, new business ideas emerge, or unexpected sources of income manifest. Padre Pio noted that during this phase, it's crucial to maintain the practice with even greater devotion, as the temptation to become complacent often arises when blessings begin flowing. The final week, days 34 through 40, is the integration period. This is when the financial blessings begin taking permanent root in your life. Many report receiving exactly what they need, not always in the form they expected, but often in ways that exceed their original prayers. This period is marked by a profound sense of peace about money matters and clear divine guidance in financial decisions. However, Padre Pio emphasized that the transformation doesn't end on day 40. This is actually when the real work begins. The numbers will have established new spiritual pathways for abundance, but maintaining these channels requires continued faithfulness. Many successful practitioners choose to repeat the 40-day cycle quarterly, aligning with natural seasons of spiritual and financial renewal. Throughout this journey, it's essential to maintain what Padre Pio called the prosperity journal. Each day, after writing the numbers, record any financial blessings, insights, or guidance received. This creates a powerful testimony of God's faithfulness and helps you recognize patterns in how divine providence operates in your life. Many practitioners are amazed when reviewing their journals to see how seemingly random events were actually part of a larger divine plan for their financial breakthrough. My dear friend, as we reach this sacred moment together, I want you to feel the loving presence of Padre Pio surrounding you right now. Take a deep breath and place your hand over your heart. Can you feel the hope rising within you? This isn't just the end of our journey together, it's the beginning of your new financial destiny. Remember how we started, with you perhaps feeling uncertain about your financial future. Now you hold in your hands something precious, not just 3 numbers, but a divine key to abundance that Padre Pio preserved specifically for this moment in your life. These numbers, 7, 12, and 5, are more than just digits. They're your personal connection to heaven's unlimited prosperity. As you prepare to begin your own 40-day journey with these sacred numbers, I want you to know that you're not walking this path alone. Countless others before you have transformed their financial lives through this practice, and their testimonies light the way forward. Every morning, when you write these numbers with faith, you're joining a spiritual community of believers who are also invoking these same divine principles of abundance. Think about Maria, whose story we shared earlier. She started exactly where you are now, holding these numbers close to her heart with nothing but faith and hope. Today, her life stands as a testimony to God's faithfulness. Your story of transformation is about to begin, and I believe with all my heart that it will be even more remarkable. But beyond the financial transformation that awaits you, there's something even more precious coming your way. Through this practice, you'll develop an unshakable trust in God's provision. You'll experience firsthand what Padre Pio meant when he said, "Pray, hope, and don't worry." Your relationship with money will shift from one of anxiety to one of peaceful expectation. As you begin this sacred journey tomorrow morning, remember that every sunrise brings new opportunities for miracles. Write these numbers with joy in your heart, knowing that each stroke of your pen is a declaration of faith in God's abundant provision. Let each number remind you of its divine significance. 7 for perfect timing, 12 for divine order, and 5 for overwhelming grace. If you're ready to receive this blessing, I invite you right now to place your hand over your heart and say these words with me. Dear Padre Pio, I open my heart to receive these sacred numbers with faith and gratitude. Guide me on this journey of financial transformation. Help me trust in God's perfect timing and abundant provision. Amen. Remember, your financial breakthrough isn't just about money. It's about fulfilling your divine destiny. When God prospers you, it's so you can be a blessing to others. Through your testimony, others will find hope. Through your abundance, others will be helped. This is the beautiful cycle of divine prosperity that Padre Pio understood so well. Now take these numbers and begin your journey with confidence. Write them with faith each morning, knowing that heaven's abundance is already flowing toward you. Your time of financial worry is ending. A new chapter of prosperity, peace, and purpose is beginning. Trust in this process, believe in these numbers, and watch as God transforms your financial life in ways you never thought possible.